This is a Hewlett-Packard OmniBook laptop computer bought around 1997. It was owned by my parents and I used it in my early childhood, but then the hard drive died around 2002, and that's when they switched to a Windows XP computer. Thankfully they didn't throw this out. It's kind of broken, as you can see here, because during my first attempt at reviving it in 2011, I stupidly dropped it. I even thought it had broken because it wouldn't turn on anymore after that, but actually the RAM chip, which we'll see later, dislocated, and reseating it fixed it. On the front over here there's the spot for the hard drive. This laptop takes 2.5-inch IDE hard drives, but I put a 2.5-inch IDE to SD card adapter, which I bought on Amazon for around 10 euros. Because the adapter is much smaller than a hard drive, it was hard to shove in there, but I managed to do it. I used the adapter with a 4GB Class 6 SDHC card, and it works perfectly, and it's also quite fast. In fact, this is why I'm making a video about this laptop now. It's because I finally revived it. Over here there's a floppy drive, but it can also be swapped with an extended battery or a CD-ROM drive. I only have the floppy drive though. This is the spot for the main battery. On this side there's a latch. Of course it's not supposed to be disaligned like that. 2 PCMCIA card slots. Only one of the little doors is still there, and the eject buttons are broken. And headphone, microphone and line-in jacks, and a Kensington lock. On the back, apart from this mess, is a joystick port, infrared port, serial, PS2, VGA, and a slot for a docking station. On this side there's an AC output, a reset button for which you need a paper clip, parallel port, and an off button which you use if the computer is frozen or you are using something like MS-DOS, which doesn't have a shutdown feature. On the bottom there's a slot for, I think is the BIOS, cooling vent, 2 RAM slots. I don't know what these kind of RAM chips are called. It came with 16 megabytes of RAM, some information there, and even a spot to put a business card, which is interesting. Let's open up this laptop now. It's an HP OmniBook 2000 CS. From what I read around the internet, the OmniBook 5700 is a related model, but I don't know the differences between them, probably just higher specs or something. Over here there was supposed to be a little display with various indicators such as battery level, hard drive activity, and caps, num or scroll lock indicators, but it broke off when it was dropped. This is the internal microphone and the power or suspend button. The screen is 12 inches, passive matrix, so moving stuff looks blurry, but the resolution is 800 by 600 instead of 640 by 480, which I can hardly stand. The monitor behind is also an HP, but it's unrelated, that's 13 years newer. It's designed for Microsoft Windows 95, and these are the contrast and brightness controls. Over here there used to be an Intel Inside Pentium sticker, but it came off, so I printed out my own. Of course, the actual processor in here is a Pentium 133 MHz. I'm not sure if it has MMX. Maybe not, but who knows. This laptop wasn't advertised as a multimedia laptop, but it does have some multimedia capabilities. The typing feel of this keyboard is quite nice. Some keys broke off, but I replaced them with spare keycaps I found around the house. Of course, the spacebar doesn't look like it used to look. And it doesn't have a trackpad. It has this track point, which HP calls track point 3. When I used it for the first time, after I got it to work after more than 12 years, it was a nice feel, but using it extensively makes your fingertips sore. These are the two mouse buttons, and these are the stereo speakers. Unfortunately, after one of my stupid and useless experiments, I unplugged the speakers by ripping the wires, and I don't have soldering skills or even a soldering iron, so I can't plug them back in, but we'll just use an external speaker plugged into the headphone jack. It's now time to turn it on. I've actually had it in sleep mode this entire time. Let's see if I didn't screw it up while I was showing around, and it will wake up from sleep. It was on the flying Windows screensaver, which I loved back when I was a kid. Mouse works. Keyboard works too. So let me turn on the flashlight. So here it is. This is Windows 95. Of course, I reinstalled it myself. Not using the recovery disks. I have those, but out of excitement I didn't think about it, so I just reinstalled it using a regular Windows 95 CD. It's running Windows 95 version C. Well, actually it's version B. It says version C because I use the version C CD. But after setup, when it asks more info, it tries to install Internet Explorer 4, and I didn't want that, so I restarted the computer and it didn't ask me for it again. It has Internet Explorer 3, of course. I didn't configure the internet because I don't have a PCMCIA internet adapter, but it's Internet Explorer 3. I also installed Microsoft Plus. As you can see here, it's a Pentium with 16 megabytes of RAM. Let's see the device manager. Here's the IDE to SD card adapter, floppy drive. The graphics card is a Chips and Technologies 6555-4. I have no idea how much video RAM it has. The infrared port, keyboard, monitor, mouse. It says dial-up adapter, but there's absolutely no built-in networking. You have to use a PCMCIA card. I think I didn't install the drivers for the PCMCIA slots properly, but I don't have anything to use them with, so it's okay for me. The sound card is a Crystal. System devices there. A feature which I'm not sure if is for this computer or all computers of this age, but you can access the BIOS setup or system configuration utility, as this computer calls it, when it's in Windows. Just press Fn F2, and while the computer is starting up, you just press F2. So this is the BIOS setup. Pentium 133 MHz, 16 megabytes of RAM. There's the battery charge. It surprisingly still holds quite a bit of its charge today. When I've tested it, it ran for a good 45 minutes before saying that the battery was low. And it would even stay in sleep mode all night using only around 10% battery, so that's nice for a computer this age. My 4-year-old MacBook Pro's battery only lasts for about 30 minutes of light usage. And it also shuts off abruptly instead of notifying you that the battery is low. And apparently this computer also shut down abruptly. Maybe it just went into sleep mode because it was on battery power. Let's turn it back on. Mouse isn't, oh there it is. Okay, it works. Let's go back into the BIOS setup, if I can. So let's have a look. System, date and time. It doesn't have any Y2K problems actually. Boot devices. docking messages, but I don't have a docking station. Passwords, PC identification. You can put 4 lines of text when the computer is booting up. It will show them here. You can put, for example, your contact information or pretty much anything, really. Internal cache, external cache. Some settings about the disk drives. The floppy drive in this computer, of course, can only handle 1.44 megabyte disks. I'm not gonna enter the hard disk settings because while it's in Windows, it freezes and I have to restart. It does something called auto ID, which apparently makes it freeze while Windows is running. Oh, I forgot to show there the floppy and hard drive settings. The COM ports, you can assign a COM port for the serial and the infrared ports. LPT port for the parallel. Keyboard setup. If you enable keyboard num-lock, it will enable it every time you turn it on. External monitor and other devices. And the audio port. The maximum volume is 7. Some power saving settings. As you can see, it suspends after 5 minutes of inactivity. I can't enable the hibernate because I haven't made a partition for it, and you can only make it with the original Windows 95 copy and the rescue CD, which requires me to format the drive and set up everything all over again. And battery charging if you have 2 batteries inside. And of course, exiting. If you save and reboot, it gives this amusing warning, which I thought it was overkill because it's not like rebooting is such a big deal. But if you are running Windows and enter the setup, and you should know if the computer reboots, because you have to be sure everything you were doing in the computer is saved. We'll just exit without saving. Oh, and version info. The BIOS is from April 22nd, 1997. Let's exit without saving. The current settings will not be saved. Alright. Besides Windows 95 version B, I also installed Microsoft Office 95, which this computer came with. I'm not sure if it had Office 95 over 97, but I don't remember the stupid paperclip thing. And I just think I remember Office 95 more than Office 97, so that's what I installed. I actually installed the professional version which comes with this bookshelf program, which this computer didn't have previously. It's like an encyclopedia, dictionary, atlas, and various other stuff. And I also installed Winamp, an old version of course, to play MP3 files, and Microsoft Bob, because why not? Well, I'll just show you my customized room for a second. Actually, let me plug in the speaker. I just chose another kind of room with a different dog and some apps. Just messing around. For example, I wrote the lyrics of a song in the Bob letter writer thing, just out of boredom and also to test the keyboard. Of course, I could have done the same on Microsoft Word, but that's not as fun. Of course, it has a border with some stars. Let's exit out of it. This computer could probably run Windows 98, but I don't like it as much as 95, and I don't think it will run that fast, so I didn't bother with it. I'll now leave you with a few clips of me giving Windows 95 a quick try. Enjoy.
To explode, carry tumultuous year. A powerful earthquake struck Los Angeles. UN troops invaded Haiti to restore President Aristide. Mexican farmers revolted, protesting discrimination against Indians. Scores of thousands died in Rwanda's civil war. In Indonesia, a new species of tree kangaroo was discovered.
Parity. Please enter your name. D-I-C-A-L-E. My name is Dr. SBAITSO. I am here to help you say whatever is in your mind freely. Our conversation will be kept in strict confidence. Memory contents will be wiped off after you leave. So tell me about your problems. I need more data.
Well, this pretty much goes on forever.
I'm going back to the start.